So the remaining questions of yesterday's revision, 4 questions, not 4, 6 questions, right? And microbes in human welfare chapter, these 2 things I will do tomorrow. Because anyways, the second half an hour, you are going to have some discussion, right? So we need not to waste the first half an hour also for discussion. Tomorrow, first half an hour, I will do the class. Second half an hour, I will do microbes in human welfare chapter revision. And yesterday revision, remaining 6 questions, I will do it. Okay, fine. So now we can directly go to the session. So yesterday we completed the attributes of population, right? So we discussed about the different attributes of population. So what are the attributes? Yesterday we discussed population growth. Is under population growth, I told you about the positive, negative and zero population growth. Then we saw about the immigration and emigration relating to the population growth. Then the zero population growth is called by demographic transition process. And then we discussed what is bioindex number, population size, population density, sex ratio, age and sex structure. We discussed for 2 countries like developing countries and developed countries, right? So in developing countries like India, it will be less steep as the younger generation, younger people are more than the older people. And in developed countries like US, it is steeper, that represents the stable population. Okay, then we discussed about a very important concept, that is age distribution pyramid. So based on the 3 different age group, pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive age group, we are having 3 types of pyramids: triangular pyramid, bell-shaped and urn-shaped pyramid. So triangular pyramid with high growth rate, it indicates the expanding population. Bell-shaped pyramid with zero growth rate, it indicates the stable population. And urn-shaped pyramid with growth rate minus, that is in decreasing, it indicates the declining population. Okay, got it? So now we can move on to the next concept. So this is an important question, important 5-mark question in your board, or it may be asked in your 3 marks also. Okay, that is what we are going to discuss next is growth model. So now we are going to analyze the population growth by means of some growth patterns. Okay, so the growth of population, it will changes with time, right? So when it is changing with time, it shows some specific patterns. So 2 important patterns, that is the 2 common patterns we are going to discuss. 2 common patterns of growth model. 2 common patterns of growth model, that is these 2 patterns we are going to discuss by means of 2 axes. One is the growth of population, how it is going to increase or decrease. Okay, how the growth of population will varies with respect to time. With respect to time, the growth of population will be studied by means of 2 different patterns. These are the 2 common patterns. So the first pattern is the exponential pattern. First one is exponential pattern, or it can be called as geometric growth pattern. Exponential growth pattern or geometric growth pattern. And the second type of pattern is logistic growth pattern. Logistic growth pattern. The first one is exponential growth pattern, or it can be called as geometric growth pattern. The second one is logistic growth pattern. And now first let us discuss about this exponential growth pattern. Okay, later I will discuss about this logistic growth pattern. First let us see about what do you mean by exponential growth pattern. So by the term, you know, exponential or geometric, this type of growth pattern occurs under certain condition. Let me tell you under what conditions this exponential growth pattern of population growth will occur. So when the resources like you can say resource like food for the organisms, or space, okay, food, space, etc. When these resources in a particular habitat are unlimited, unlimited means like those resources are like sufficient, okay, they will be present in high concentration, they will be present, there will be enough food and enough space for the organisms to survive. When all these resources are said to be unlimited, or else you can say each species the species present in a particular habitat, they are said to be, each species are of full reproductive or biotic potential. Full reproductive or biotic potential means they are completely capable of reproduction. Okay, those organisms which are present in a particular habitat are capable of complete undergoing reproduction or biotic potential. Then they will, these in this case the population will grow in an exponential pattern or in a geometric pattern. Okay, so in such cases you will have a exponential pattern of population growth or a geometric pattern of population growth. For example, I will tell you, for your understanding, I will tell you, for example, if you take, if a reindeer population is there, reindeer, okay, so this reindeer population is take the population as the reindeer population as n. I am considering the population of reindeer as n. Okay, this reindeer population is allowed to, it is present in a predator free environment. Okay, in a predator free environment, you know what is meant by predators. Okay, so the organisms which eat away the reindeers are called as predators. So if this reindeer is present in a habitat where there are no predators for that particular organism, that's why I am telling it as a predator free environment. Now just think about, if an organism is present in a predator free environment, automatically the population of the organisms will be maintained as such. Okay, till the usual lifespan, like till your natural death occurs, the reindeer population will be maintained, and so the population of organisms will be continuously undergoing reproduction. Then what will happen? The population of the reindeer, okay, the population of that reindeer in particular time t, I'm calculating it for a particular time t. Okay, say for example 1 year or 10 years or something, it may be whatever time you fix, right? So in a population time t, how will be the population? The population will grows beyond the capacity of the environment. Okay, beyond the capacity of the environment, in the sense an environment will have particular capacity to hold a number of organisms. If the environment is crossing beyond the capacity what it can hold, then that particular capacity, the capacity of the environment to hold the organism, is called as carrying capacity. Okay, so carrying capacity means the capacity of organisms to hold the organisms. So suppose if you take a forest, in that particular forest, the forest can hold only some 1,000 reindeers, and if it is exceeding 1,000, then you can say the population has exceeded beyond the capacity of the environment, beyond the capacity of environment to hold the organisms. So the capacity of the environment to hold the organism, that can be mentioned as carrying capacity. Okay, carrying capacity means capacity of environment to hold the organisms. If that carrying capacity is like exceeding, then you can say, like in that particular thing, you can say the growth pattern is called as exponential growth pattern. That particular growth pattern of population growth is called as exponential. So when this exponential growth pattern will occur? When there are enough resources, when there are unlimited resources, when there are no predator, when the organism is having high reproductive potential. With all these cases, the organisms will reproduce continuously and the population will grow beyond the carrying capacity, which means the capacity of environment to hold the organism, it will exceed the limit. In such case, exponential growth pattern will take place. So this exponential growth pattern, finally it will form a curve called as J-shaped curve. The shape of the curve finally you obtained is the J-shaped growth pattern curve. J-shaped growth pattern or J-shaped growth curve will be obtained, and such I will show you in the graph how it will be. So you just draw this graph. When they are asking you question, I told you one side you have to consider the number of individual, that is the population, and other side you have to consider the time, the population in particular time. So this number of individuals can be represented as capital N and time can be represented as small t. Okay, Now you are drawing a graph for this, how it will be. Start from the origin, slowly it will increase, and it will go like this. It will go on like this, okay? So in one particular place, in one particular point, this is called as, this line is K. So what is this K is? I told you, right? Carrying capacity. Here I mentioned, right? Carrying capacity. So what is carrying capacity? It is the capacity of the environment to hold the number of organisms. So I told you it will grow beyond the carrying capacity. So this is K, and this curve is crossing the K, and it will go on increasing. In one stage, what will happen when the environment is not able to hold the population? Then there will be severe population crash. There occurs population crash. It means there will be heavy destruction in the population, because your environment has crossed the limit to hold the organism. Once when it is crossing, see, you are like blowing air in the balloon, like till a particular period the balloon will swell, okay? So it will slowly come, like it will come up as you're like putting the air inside that. Once when the balloon, like when the air is beyond the limit, what will happen? The balloon will burst, right? Similarly, environment is having a particular capacity to hold the organism. If the capacity is exceeding, then what will happen? Automatically, no, there will be no food shortage, ma. That's why I told you there will be unlimited resource. Unlimited resource means that will be like there will be enough resource, and the resources will be replenished again and again, okay? Yeah, we human population comes under exponential growth. That's why, see, whenever this exponential growth is exceeding the limit, there occurs some natural disaster like landslide, earthquake, tsunami, or something. What is that? Flood or something, or else sometimes epidemic outbreak, like pandemic outbreak, like what we have corona now, okay? So you can say like this corona outbreak, it is by nature. Naturally it will happen. Some way or other the nature will choose only like the limited organisms to survive. The number of organisms that are more than that will be automatically destructed by the nature. That will happen either by means of natural disaster, or by means of natural selection, or by outbreak of some diseases like epidemic or pandemic disease. Something will happen, okay? It is not only for human. Whichever organism is exceeding the carrying capacity, you know what is carrying capacity? This carrying capacity can be represented by the letter K. So this type of curve is called as J-shaped growth curve or J-shaped growth pattern, okay? Now you can say one more example for this J-shaped growth curve or exponential growth pattern. You can say this type of growth occurs in algal bloom. You have studied algal bloom in your smaller classes. Algal bloom is actually like the exponential growth of algae in fresh water. If you like go to ponds, lakes, rivers and all, if the nutrient level is enriched, if there are high amount of nutrients, then automatically the algae will grow sufficiently. It will reproduce continuously. Yeah, the lake will appear green in color, okay? So that is called as algal bloom. This algal bloom will causes BOD. It will it will take more oxygen from the water, okay? And so, and some more examples I will give you. The insects during rainy season. So during rainy season you can see more number of insects, because that is the breeding season for them, okay? They will mainly undergo breeding during this rainy season, fine. And then yeah, paramecium also undergoes this exponential growth curve. As we said, like human population you cannot say generally, because in all places it is not happening like that, right? Suppose if you take only the developing countries will have this exponential growth curve. If you go for developed countries, they will not have this exponential growth pattern. They will have a stable population. That is the second type of growth curve. What we are going to discuss is logistic, okay? So this is what happens in case of exponential growth pattern. So these like unlimited resources, no, and absence of predators, they all help their organisms to grow exponentially. Even the slowest breeder like elephants are called as slowest breeders. Why the elephants are slowest breeders? Because the gestation period is 22 months, okay? And they will also increase exponentially in case of all these conditions. And now you have some equation or formula for calculating this exponential growth curve or exponential population growth. So please write down this formula. It is dn by dt. You have to differentiate the number of individuals with respect to time. You know, d is differentiating. Okay, differentiating the number of individuals with respect to time is equal to b minus d into n. So what is this b and d? I will like represent all these variables. N represents population size, or you can say the number of individuals present in a population. Okay, and b represents birth rate, d represents death rate. Okay, then what else we have to see here? T, you know, with respect to time. We are differentiating with respect to time. Okay, so birth rate and death rate you have to say by per capita. You know how you have to represent the birth rate and death rate. Already we have studied in the attributes. So birth rate and death rate per capita are represented as B and D respectively. Then yeah, the change B minus D. B minus D is change in population size. The change in population size will be represented as B minus D. That is, change in population size can be increased or it can be decreased during a unit time period T. Okay. Now, if this B minus D, it can be replaced by R. So then your equation will become dn by dt is equal to Rn. Now I will tell you what is this R. Okay. R is the intrinsic means internal factor. Okay. Intrinsic rate of natural increase. R represents intrinsic rate of natural increase, because when you subtract this b minus d, here as we are having this exponential growth, sure it is going to be increase. Okay, only if population crash happens, there will be decrease, otherwise usually it will increase. So that increase in population can be represented by means of this letter called as R, intrinsic rate of natural increase, or this R is having another term. You can say it is the biotic potential. So what do you mean by biotic potential? Biotic potential, just now I told you, it is the maximum reproductive potential, or the maximum capacity of reproduction is called as biotic potential. The maximum capacity of reproduction can be called as biotic potential. Okay, so which indicates indicates the impact of this R, indicates the impact of biotic and abiotic factors in the population growth. Okay, the value of R for human population in your NCERT, it is given. The value of R in human population during the time of in 1981 when census was taken in India. In 1981, when the census was taken in India, the value of R was found to be 0.02. Okay. So this is about your exponential growth rate. Your exponential growth rate is over. That is exponential growth. How you have to calculate, what is the equation, and what is the formula, and what is the graph. Everything is over. Okay. So now we have to see the logistic growth. So let me tell you about logistic growth also. The second type of growth pattern is logistic growth. This logistic growth, it will have stability in the population growth. Fine. So now I will tell you under what case this logistic growth pattern of population growth will happen. In nature, naturally, no species has unlimited resource. But in exponential growth, it is an exceptional case, because in some habitat, if unlimited resources are present, then there is a chance of having this exponential growth. But in nature, no species has unlimited resources at its disposal. To permit the exponential growth. That is the natural thing. But it happens in some habitat which will lead to the exponential growth. Okay. So fine. Now what happens, because in between the species there starts competition. there will be competition for food, competition for space, competition for all other resources between the individuals for limited resource. This competition will not be there in the habitat of unlimited resources. In unlimited resources, there will be no competition. That's why there is no survival of fittest, and the organisms are continuously reproducing and they are increasing in the population by exponential mean. But in logistic growth, there will be limited resources. This is the natural thing. And in this limited resources, there exists competition between the individuals, and the population will attain, the population which is increasing, right? The growth of population or the population growth will attain three phases. The population growth, they will first, initially, in the starting, they will show one phase. That particular phase is called as lag phase. Initially, they will show lag phase. Okay. Then followed by lag phase. This is the first phase. And followed by that, there will be phases either followed by this lag phase, there attains the next phase, which is called as log phase. Log. Okay. So this log phase, no, it may be a phase of acceleration phase. That means acceleration means increasing, or it may be deceleration or decreasing. This log phase will be a phase of acceleration or deceleration. And followed by this log phase, the last phase finally. And the finally, they will attain a phase. This is the second phase, log phase. And the third phase, finally, they will attain a stage of asymptote. So this asymptote is called as the stationary phase. It is called as the stationary phase, where the population will attain the stability. That means population has reached the carrying capacity of the environment. In exponential, it will grow beyond the carrying capacity. But in logistic growth, it will not grow beyond the carrying capacity. It will stop somewhere, and that is called as the stationary phase. Okay, fine. So now I will show you the graph, how it will be for the logistic growth. Again, with respect to time t and with the number of individuals n. Now here the graph will be like this. Okay, so this will be fine. This will be like this. Okay, so now this phase, the initially I told you, right, this is lag phase, and next it will have a log phase, and finally when it attains the k, this is k. Okay, when it reaches k, it will attain a stability, and this is called as stationary phase. Stationary phase, or you can say like asymptote phase, or another name is also there, which is also called as plateau phase. Based on the carrying capacity, there will be increase or decrease in the population, but it will maintain the stability. Suppose if it feel like the population is more than the carrying capacity, then automatically it will what is that? It will reduce, reproduction potential will be reduced, or something will happen that will maintain the stability of the population. Okay, so this is what K, you know what is K? K is carrying capacity. So here the shape of the curve is S-shaped curve. S-shaped growth pattern or growth curve. There you attain the J-shaped, right? So now that what is this type of growth pattern is having a name. S is representing the sigmoid shape, and this S-shaped growth curve pattern is called as, based on the scientist who gave this curve, is called as Verhulst-Pearl logistic growth. Verhulst-Pearl logistic growth curve. So this is the name of the growth pattern. Okay, and again, okay, I think students, last 4 more minutes. Yeah, I will finish it off with the equation. I will write the equation. dn by dt is equal to Rn. This is the equation of exponential growth curve. But for logistic growth curve, you have to add one more thing, k minus n divided by k. dn by dt is equal to Rn into k minus n by k. You know what is n, number of individual, and you know what is r, intrinsic rate of increase, and you know what is k, that is carrying capacity. And what is this k minus n by k? This k minus n by k, you can write it as Rn k by k minus n by k. K by k is 1 minus n by k. You can write it all like this also. This 1 minus n by k, right? This represents 1 minus n by k. This represents environmental resistance. It represents the environmental resistance, where the environment will be resistance, you know, right? It will be strongly what is that? It will it can resist against the environmental stress. Okay, like any other natural disasters or whatever happens, the environment will attain a resistance, and that helps to maintain the stability of the population. So this is the dn by dt is equal to Rn by 1 minus Rn into 1 minus n by k. This is the final equation for the logistic growth curve. Okay, we'll stop here, students. I will show you all the slides. Yeah, I will show you all the slides. Please wait. Yes, first one, you please take a snapshot. Okay, so this is the first one where we started the growth model. Ma, this is a very important 5-mark question. Sure, you will get this question for your board exam. Okay, you have to explain both the growth model with graph, equation, and theory. Everything you have to do. Okay, and you have to mention what type of what shape of curve you will get it for exponential growth and logistic growth. So this is the first slide. Then second one. Third one. Fourth one. Yeah, and the last slide, fifth slide. Okay. Okay, students, fine. Like tomorrow we'll continue. Fine. So tomorrow first half an hour we'll have the class, and second half an hour we'll do the discussion part. Okay. So you please read this microbes in human welfare chapter again, and come back tomorrow. We will have a discussion in the chapter. And Friday we will have revision in human health and disease. Got it? So that your this week need portion will be completely revised, and whatever chapter so far we have done will get over. So Monday onwards, like again, we'll go with the regular class. So thank you so much. Asymptote, ma. Asymptote. Thank you. Sir will join the class. You just continue with the session. Okay, don't leave. Thank you.
Hello, can everybody hear me? So the first question, we will discuss the question from human health and disease. You can see the first question. The Edward Jenner is known as the father, known to be the father of. You can see hepatology, virology, microbiology, or immunization. Edward Jenner with Louis Pasteur together comes with immune system. They developed the vaccine, so it is the answer will be immunization, not the virology, microbiology, or the hepatology. Hepatology is something related with the blood. Virology is something related with the virus. Microbiology with the bacteria and the microorganisms. And immune system to provide an immunity. That is immune. You see the second question. Mark the correct statement for the following. None of this cell-mediated immune response is responsible for graft rejection. Colostrum during initial days of lactation provide active immunity to infant. Injecting microbes during immunization induce passive immunity. If you see this question, injecting microbes during immunization induce passive immunity. Injecting microbes during immunization is not a passive immunity; it is a active immunity. Why? Because these microbes is the antigen, and this antigen in the body produces antibody. Means in the presence of antigen only the body will produce antibody. So it is not a passive immunity. Colostrum during initial days of lactation provide active immunity to infants. Colostrum is something immune immunity or immune something which is provided by mother, which is a kind of passive immunity. So it is also wrong statement. This is also wrong statement. This cannot be the answer. Cell-mediated immune response is responsible for graft rejection. Yes, this is a correct answer. If you see IgA plays a very important role in this. So the B will be the answer. T lymphocytes are associated with internal cleansing, production of heparin, cell-mediated immunity, humoral immunity. See, it is very easy put, and it is direct question also. If you take your NCERT book, you can find this direct line. The T lymphocytes are associated with cell-mediated immunity. Internal cleansing, that is something out of the question, and production of heparin. Production of heparin is not the part of T lymphocyte. T lymphocyte is something related with the immune cells, and heparin is something which is a chemical present in the blood which it will not allow the blood to clot inside the blood vessels. Humoral immunity, that is something different than this. Cell mediated immunity will be the answer. Mumps is a viral disease and painful swelling of. This is also very easy question. If you have studied 11th standard digestive system, there under salivary gland you would have studied that parotid gland swelling, the viral, the mumps will be okay. But here, while learning the questions, we'll come to know like some of the texts, some text. I'll teach you something so that you can have a revision. D. Histamine, the inflammation producing substance, are produced by which cells of the body? See, here if you can see, the first option is sustentacular cells, collagen fiber, macrophage, and mast cell. It's easy question, but still I will tell you what it's all about. If you see about the mast cell is granulated. So they have asked somewhere in the question, you can if you get same kind of question with the different options, you can think about this. Okay, so mast cell will be granulated. If you see, and this mast cell will also, and from the granulated, if they become degranulated, okay. So process of granulated means from the granulated, if they become degranulated, in by a process they will release histamine. Okay. Now this histamine will provide an immune response. Immune response, which is inflammation. Any kind of injury where the redness and swelling is there, that is called as inflammation. If we talk about collagen fiber is something related with blood clot. It will be released at the site of injury. Macrophages is a phagocytosis property. So it cannot be collagen fiber. Macrophages, sustentacular cell. It is present on the walls of seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule, and it is present inside the Sertoli cells. So something related with the reproductive system, and the histamine will be released by the mast cell. Which of the following pair is not correctly matched? You can give me the answer. Sleeping sickness, trypanosoma gambians is correct. Then plague, Yersinia pestis. Recent news also could have heard that after coronavirus in China, there was some cases in some of the city of China. You can find that there was a patient, around 100 to 120 people died about for a plague. So they were thinking that again it may come a second outbreak, but it didn't come because we have a well-developed vaccination for this medicine we have for plague. Syphilis, Trichuris trichiura. Yeah, this is the bacterial disease. It is a right answer. So here this is it's not matching. So we have to find the not correctly match. See, This Trichuris tricura is a weak worm infection. It provides weak worm infection. It is parasitic worm. Okay, like only few species can provide an infection, but many of the whipworm there's no symptoms at all. Okay, and the symptoms of this will be abdominal pain, and tiredness will be there. Diarrhea will be there. Sometimes diarrhea will contain blood. Okay, so the answer will be dengue fever flavivirus. Yeah, this is also right. So this is the not matched one. What is released in the body during disease which is result in fever? This question is asked in Rajasthan pre-medical test in 2001 question, and even they have asked this question in Pune exam in 2003. So you can see interleukins, antibody, interferon, pyrogens, D pyrogens. Nagarjuna, what is why B? See, pyrogens. Pyrogen is released by bacteria, bacterial infection. As we know, when cell is infected by virus, it will release interferon. Same way, if the bacteria is affecting a cell, then it will release pyrogen. Antibody. When antibody is released when antigen invades the body and immune cell release the antibody. So upon the antigen getting into the body, that time the antibody will release and antibody will kill the antigen. Interferon is something when virus is affecting the cell, so that the interferons will protect the unaffected cells. Interleukin is a cytokinin. Interleukin. See why I'm telling you all the text means some other questions, the same thing will come. So that time I will not say this. Okay. Interleukin will is a cytokinin. It is present already in the body, and they will protect the body. So for the protection. So the answer will be pyrogen. D. Organ transplant rejection may be prevented by using drug, immunosuppressive drug. Immunosuppressive drug is very direct question, but if you see this question is asked in Orissa PMT in 2003. Immunostimulatory drug. See, if you stimulate the immune system, then surely there will be a rejection. So organ rejection may be prevented. So how can we prevent the rejection? Not by stimulatory. New T cells. T cells is will produce antibody. See, main thing is why the rejection happens. Antibody will release when antigen gets into the body. That is the first thing. So whenever other organ also is coming, that is also like an antigen, or anything comes new to the body, it will be like an antigen. So our immune cells will produce an antibody. If we talk about new T cells is also cytotoxic cells, and cytokinin will be there, which invading antigen will be directly killed. So this cannot be the it cannot prevent the rejection. Now antibodies, if antibody is there, it will be rejected. So immunosuppressive drug, that immune system will be suppressed, so that antibody production will not be there. So there is no antibody production, then we can prevent the rejection. So the C will be there. The pathogen of genera Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton are responsible for. Ninth question. Ringworm. Yeah, ringworm or dermophytic infection. If it is this dermophytic, if they give in the question, you can dermophytic infection. It is also called as fungal infection. If you talk about botulism is Clostridium botulinum. Toxic will be neurotoxin. Okay, it is very rare but very dangerous. Very dangerous. Okay, it will directly affect the neuron cells and it will degenerate. So the patient will become mental and rare, but it is very serious. And I think there are very less chance that people may survive. So the C will be the answer. Colostrum, the first milk secretion of mammary gland, is rich in immunoglobulin. It is a direct question, and many times it is a famous question of this chapter. C will be the answer. It is the second most numerous type of antibody about IgA. Consists of about 10% secretion of the total. If you take the 100%, 10% will be IgA of serum. Immunoglobulins found in the colostrum. The first milk also nursing a mother during this, the colostrum will be passed. So the IgA is most important type of antibody which provides protection to the baby. Infective stage of Entamoeba histolytica. See, sporozoite stage. It is an infective stage of parasite in malaria, present in the saliva of female Anopheles, and tetranucleate form. Tetranucleate form, yeah, this is the infection of Entamoeba histolytica. So let us learn something about this, that how this thing happens. So in initial stage, there is a uninucleate. Okay, there is one cyst. The cyst will have one single nucleus. Now, as a single nucleus, the nucleus will divide. When nucleus divide and cyst become binucleate, and then it will become tetranucleate. Okay. At this stage only they are infectious, and other stage they are not infectious. So tetranucleate stage they will be, and in this what happened, there is one form called as minuta form. In AIMS they have asked what is minuta form, and based on this one question has been asked in a previous year. In this minuta form, what is that? Like when magna form is released from wall of intestine and reaches the lumen, it is called as minuta form. So minuta form, when minuta later on from the mononucleate, then binucleate and tetranucleate is the infectious stage. Amoebiasis is caused by, the previous same question is there, Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba gingivalis is a causative organism for this there is no disease has been identified. It is they consider as a non-pathogenic Entamoeba gingivalis. Okay, so there is no disease has been discovered yet, so they consider as a non-pathogenic. Trypanosoma gambians, African sleeping sickness, Plasmodium vivax. This causes benign tertian malaria. Means tertian means every second day. The malaria fever will come every 48 hours. To which type of barrier under innate immunity do the saliva in the mouth and the tears from the eye belong? This is also very easy question. Yeah. A. Question 14. Yellow fever is transmitted by yellow fever by Aedes. Okay, yellow fever, we can also say African sleeping sickness. Okay, it is a viral but the carrier for this will be mosquito, which is Aedes aegypti, and the virus for this will be Zika virus or flavirribovirus, we can say. Sorry, not sleeping sickness. Yellow fever is chikungunya. Chikungunya, because in chikungunya also there is an increase of bile in the blood. So there is a yellow coloration in the body. So that's why they're called as yellow fever. And it is caused by flavirribovirus. Ribovirus. Flavi means yellow. The word flavi denotes yellow, so it is called as yellow fever. And flavivirus causes chikungunya. Which of the following disease is caused by member of retrovirus group? Cancer is not, dengue is not, common cold is Ebola, that is rhinovirus. Common is called as rhinovirus, so AIDS will be the answer. Hydrophobia, rabies is a disease caused by helminth, no. Protozoan, no. Nematode, no. Virus. So it is a virus. Hydrophobia, rabies is a rhabdovirus. Rhabdovirus or rabies virus. Vector for Kala Azar. Vector for Kala Azar, housefly. Housefly is for amoebiasis. Bedbug and loss. It is human loss is present in the human head and bedbug in the bed. So obviously sandfly will be the answer. Both B and T cells of immune system produced in lymph node. No. B cells and T cells, it is produced in bone marrow, not lymph node and thymus and spleen. It is bone marrow. Which of the following is correct? Rheumatic fever, defective pacemaker, leukemia, skin cancer, heart attack, radiation therapy, diabetes, sugar free. Which is correct? If you see the option A, it is an inflammatory disease. Rheumatic fever is an inflammatory disease which is developed when sore throat will be there, or a scarlet fever if it is untreated. And these kind of things comes when streptococcus bacteria infects it. So this is not the correct defective pacemaker. If you see the option B, it is leukemia, is a skin cancer. No, leukemia is a cancer which starts with the blood forming tissue. Leukemia is a blood cancer in the blood forming tissue, and later on it forms in the bone marrow, and it leads to overproduction of abnormal white blood cells. So it is not related with the skin cancer. So this cannot be the answer. Heart attack and radiation therapy. Mm, heart attack is something related with blockage in the blood vessels. So death of certain segments of heart muscles caused by loss of blood, or there is a complete blockage of blood supply or the loss of blood supply. So diabetes is sugar free. Yeah, this will be means in diabetes we have to take a sugar which should be sugar free should be there. So this is the right answer. Cholera is caused by bacteria, Vibrio cholera. It's, it's very easy question. Which one of the following is not a property of cancer cells, whereas remaining three are? One thing I will tell you that they show contact inhibition. Normal cells. First, know about normal cells. If you take one normal cell of human and if you grow them in Petri plates, a tissue culture, we can say tissue culture. If you keep one cell, the cells will divide and they will start to grow. Okay, it will grow till they comes in contact with each other. If they come in contact with each other, for example, these two cells, if these two cells comes in contact like this, then they will stop to grow. Why? Because the property is that on contact the growth is inhibited. So they show contact inhibition. Which of the following is not a property of cancerous cells, whereas the remaining three are? So this is the property of this is the property of normal cells. They show contact inhibition. So this will be the answer. They do not remain in confined area. Yeah, cancer cell property is this that they will be roaming everywhere in the body. They divide in uncontrolled manner. Yes. They compete with the normal cells for vital nutrient. Yes. They will. This process means they will do angiogenesis. Angiogenesis means development of new blood vessels. For example, you think that there is cancer in this one part. Let us talk about liver. Then they will start to develop the new blood vessels from all other organs like stomach, pancreas, lungs, heart, and they will derive the nutrients and they bring to the liver. So the liver will have a huge growth and they will divide in uncontrolled manner. And this is the character of they do not remain confined in an area of formation due to metastasis. So metastasis and angiogenesis is the property of cancer cells. The answer will be A. Which one of the following is not correctly matched? Glossina palpalis, sleeping sickness. Aedes aegypti, yellow fever. Yeah, Glossina palpalis, sleeping sickness is correct. Aedes aegypti for yellow fever, yes. Last we have seen just now. Anopheles colificium, leishmaniasis. No. Okay, let us leave over this. Culex pipiens, filariasis. Yeah, this is also. So this is not nice. So this will be the answer. This is the answer. If you see Glossina papialis, it is a sleeping sickness, which is insects. Vector for this will be insects. Aedes aegypti for yellow fever, chikungunya, and Anopheles colificans for malaria. It is a malarian protozoa. It is this one important property of this protozoa is they breed in pure water, okay, and clean water. They don't. So even the clean water is stored, this kind of mosquito can grow. So see that even water should not be stored actually. If you taking in a water bottle for drinking, drink it, or don't keep water in a open place. I think time is up. In next class, we'll discuss about from question number 23. I think class is from 9 to 9:30. Okay, we'll discuss this question number 23 also. The T letter, yeah, thymus. Other question we'll discuss in the next class or upcoming class from question number 24.